introduction, there's a lot of pressure on me. So I hope I can live up to everyone's expectations. I see some of my brides here. For those of you that I didn't have an opportunity to introduce myself to, I am Sara Stanford. I am the owner of Bliss Bridal Boutique, a new boutique that's just opened up in Barbican Business Center. So when you all have an opportunity, you can speak with me after, call us, make an appointment, and we look at the dresses. What I wanted to kind of talk to all of our brides-to-be today is about finding the right dress for you. I'm sure most of you have gone online, you've looked at dresses, you see this dress, it's gorgeous, but this one is even more gorgeous. But is this one going to fit me because I have a big bottom? Is that one going to fit me because I'm short, whatever the case is? And it is extremely confusing. And so just to kind of help you narrow it down, just very briefly, there are primarily 5 styles of wedding dress. We have an A-line, we have a mermaid, we have a princess ball gown, we have a sheath, and we have an empire waist. So just to kind of give you an idea, an A-line gown, some may actually confuse it with a ball gown somewhat, but it's slightly different. An A-line gown is going to hug you in the smallest part of your body and then start to flare out gradually, almost in a triangle, hence the word A-line. The A-line gown will fit most body types. So even if you have a little extra weight in the midsection and you want to kind of cover that, a little bit of A-line will help, but still give you a little bit of a shape. If you have the big bottom and you don't want to show the big bottom, an A-line will assist you with that as well because it comes away from the body. Okay? Princess ball gown is where we get into the big poof and put the crinoline underneath it and everything, and you're Cinderella walking down the aisle. Right? That gown will have more of what they call a natural waistline. So the top section will kind of stop here and the skirt is going to stop out here and come out fairly wide. That's also a very flattering shape for a lot of people because again it's going to hug you. If the waist area is your smallest area, it's going to hug you there and then flare out. And then of course when you're talking about the bodice of the gown, you have sweetheart neckline, you have halter neckline, you have what they call bateau headline, which is similar to a sweetheart but it doesn't have the dip. Right, you have one shoulder, which is very popular now. That again is about your comfort level. If you're large busted, a sweetheart may be fabulous on you because you're showing, the girls are on display. But if you're a little bit more self-conscious about it, then you can go with a spaghetti strap, or you can go with what they call a bateau, which is a little bit more straight across. Right, so it's really about your comfort level. So we talked about the A-line, we talked about the princess. We're going to talk about one of the most popular ones now, which is the mermaid. Right? Some call it mermaid, some call it fit and flare, some call it trumpet. A true mermaid is going to hug your body all the way down, through the hips, all the way down almost to the knee, and then going to start to flare off somewhere around the knee area, similar to a mermaid, hence the word mermaid. A trumpet gown or a fit and flare gown is going to fit you similarly, but it's going to start to flare a little bit earlier than the mermaid. And really and truly something like that, you just really need to fit and see which one works best. But if you have an hourglass figure, or even what they may call a pear shape, it may be a little bit smaller up here and wider in there, some people will say that a mermaid is really the best shape for you because it's going to accentuate. If you're a girl that wants to show off your curves and you're proud of all your curves you got, whether it's a size 6 curve or a size 18 curve, then you put on your mermaid gown and you work it like a part-time job, right? So that's what we do. That's what a mermaid is. An empire waist gown now is where the waist is literally going to start right underneath the bust line. And that's a very forgiving cut. A lot of pregnant brides will wear an empire waist. If you have a little extra weight in the midsection and you're not comfortable with it, an empire waist would work well. But again, you have to be careful because sometimes it could actually make you look a little bit larger. Empire waist gowns usually come in much softer materials, like a chiffon, and it's usually very flowy. Kind of like, J-Lo sometimes like to have this Grecian goddess kind of a look. So that's the kind of material most of the empire waist will come in. And the final style of gown that we have is a sheath gown. Now a sheath gown usually comes in a silk, a satin, or a lace, and is not extremely forgiving. It will show up every lump and bump that we have and so on and so forth. The Spanx will help us out a bit, but it is not extremely forgiving. So that is usually very good for a tall, slender bride. It's not going to hug you necessarily like a mermaid because it's not fitted here and then flare out, but it's just going to fall, and they're usually made of softer materials. And so therefore, you know, it's not as forgiving. Okay? So just those are the standard shapes. And there are variations of those shapes. I mean, you can go backless, you can go sweetheart, you can go halter, variations of those shapes. Okay? Now, having said all of that, my professional advice to you is forget everything I just said. When you get ready to go shopping for your wedding dress, you try on and you buy what you feel the most beautiful in. Don't let anybody tell you, but you have a little belly, you know, you must wear Ampara. Don't make anybody tell you your bottom too big, you shouldn't be in a mermaid. You wear what you feel is going to make you feel the way you want to feel on your wedding day. Because at the end of the day, the wedding day, they say the wedding day is about one person. I'm a little bit different. I think it's about two people. I think it's about the bride and it's about the groom. But I'm newly married, so maybe my husband's right there, so maybe that has something to do with it, right? But the bottom line is try on what you want to try on and see. And some of my brides that are in the audience will tell you, one of the first things I tell them when they come to the boutique is never judge a dress on the rack. I had a bride yesterday. Oh no, I don't like that bow. I don't want that bow. And her mother said, just try it on. When she put on the dress, we talk about say yes to the dress. Oh my God, I mean the whole thing. And the bow looks so nice. I just stepped aside. I said, okay. Right? So you never judge a dress on the rack.